Yeah. This is King Chris and 1/4 of the Black Super Friends podcast, but this ain't that, and that ain't this. This is the Lions Den with my guest, the Horace Towns. Yo, my brother, what's going on? What's going on?
Welcome to another episode of, it ain't the Black Super Friends tonight.
Nah, it's not the Black Super Friends tonight. Shout out to Super Mario Senior and Zay. They are in Antigua for the Tayson Gaines wedding. We wish you guys a safe travel home. We wish the bride and the groom, want to give a big shout out to them. We wish forever love for you. Too bad we couldn't be there. Well, we wasn't invited, so whatever.
I dare sure expect to be.
Shout out
So,
to Tayson though.
hey, yeah, 100 for Tayson. Congratulations, man. Listen, my brother. So off the bat, we missing half the crew, but
Hmm
we the ones that put the rate. I just want to say we are the ones that make the clips every week. Okay, somebody come see you, Otis. So
Ain't nobody going to see you, Otis.
absolutely. Last week I had got so many comments from different people about last week's show, and we had so many clips and the whole Mario and I'm gonna tell you, Chris, it works for
So,
your good.
what you
You
talking
know how
about?
many women talking about, oh my God, Chris. I just One of my friends say, I used to be that woman. I just wanna be there for him. I would just go to him because he's just been hurt, and I just want to love him. I'm like, right, go love him. So listen, brother, a lot of them people that's watching was like, oh my God, Chris. I heard, oh my God, Chris all week. Oh my God, that Chris. Oh, he's been hurt. I just want to be there for Chris. I say, yeah, be there for him. Go to that inbox and holler at Chris Leo.
Man, I did get a lot of activity in my inbox
Oh,
after that show. Man, it was a good show. It was like all positive energy though.
yeah.
All positive energy. I want to give a big shout out to the women that did reach out. I'm still kind of emotionally drained from that show because that show I didn't know what was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't know. I didn't know that was going to be my mother's birthday.
Right.
So I didn't know you guys was gonna. I came in late because I was just trying to take as long as I can to get in my mindset. But then when you guys came on, you did the little tribute to my mom. That was cool. And just the whole conversation, man. We wasn't prepared because normally we go by. We already know a little bit of the topic, so we present. It's more like a show. But this was just that was last episode was more of a conversation, and yeah, man, it was. I'm still emotionally drained from that conversation. I had good, but I did have good conversations with other people after that. Shout out to all the ladies that called, and that was cool. What
Um,
about you? What about you? How did you feel? Because you dug a little deep in that show also.
and you know what's funny? That has to be true because I don't recall anything from that show, even with the clips I went through and posted. And I think, bro, like over and over, what's up, Cat Carter? Uh, bro, I always just say over and over, like the transparency that I give is almost like a confession box, man. So when I come on this show, man, I've been just laying all that shit right out there and hope because a lot of the brothers, I've been telling people all week, like, bro, they be like, bro, oh my God, y'all boys really doing it, man. I love the show. Hey, Cortina, I might bring you on. And but I say y'all sit there and watch the show, but y'all don't comment. You know what I mean? Like comment, but you will talk to me in the street and be like, "Oh man, bro, the show was just so amazing," or "I like when y'all talked about that," and I'm be like, "Okay, okay." So I think I do it for that reason. I think
Mm.
I do it for that reason, man. Just because when I leave, I feel better, man. Um, I feel better. And we done came a long way, bro. We have came a long way, and that show. Every chance I get a chance to be totally transparent, I feel some type of way about it. So,
Speaking of being transparent, man, I want to bring this week you posted about it going on a social media hiatus, or I don't know exactly what your a sabbatical or whatever, but it was it was a little bit of it was a little bit of concern. It was a little bit concerning, and I was going to reach out, but I felt like I think that let's talk about this with the BSF Nation, just in case they may have input on this also, because it kind of it kind of threw me back. But I said I want to have a public conversation with you about that. What's going on with that?
bro, you know how I got a lot of phone calls on that today as well. I mean, this week, and I got a call from Nay, and then I had a conversation with a few people.
Shot
But
Nate.
yeah, troublemaker Nate Simone, what's up? I actually, man, I'm just in a space where I am just committed to growing.
Mm-hmm.
And bro,
Explain that. Explain that.
when we first started this show, Chris, our first initial episode, are you any way you can look back and say right now today, your character, your morals, your views have shifted from who you was when we first started our
Right.
original show.
Okay, I can see a little bit of a change. Yeah.
Okay. And when you prune a tree, sometimes you got to prune a tree to get rid of the dead branches to make it actually grow, right?
Yeah.
No matter how
Absolutely.
good the tree look. And bro, like years ago, man, I had this. Well, God, I just say God been dealing with me, bro. So years ago, I had said this prayer, and I would tell you about this prayer, like God, anything that's untrue, anything that's not real, that's not around, that's not for me, get rid of it, like remove it. And bro, I said that prayer years ago, and I mean, my life went to craps. It went to the crapper.
Okay.
I said, I
Okay.
never say that damn prayer again. But lately, man, certain stuff has been bothering me, and I was looking at social media, being Vicky's son, picking up some energy and whatnot. I just wasn't. I just looked at what I was letting social media annoy me, and then I had to look at myself, like, why was it annoying me? You know what I mean?
Mm,
And then it's annoying because really I'm putting my energy into it as well.
mm.
So,
Is the problem really social media though, or is it a deeper problem than that? Because I hear people say that they going on a social media hiatus, and we had one viewer that I'm gonna say it, she got into my inbox and basically she made a post about it, and she was kind of frustrated with people having to announce themselves leaving social media, and like it's like some kind of big deal, and is it really social media, or is it there's a deeper underlying problem here?
but everybody different. For me, a lot of my day to day is social media. Like I
Mm,
interact with different people, even whether it's entertainment business. Like we inside each other inboxes all day,
yeah.
and I think starting to see myself like instead of having a regular phone call or regular text, I'm getting messages on Instagram or somebody sending me memes or like back and forth. But I was like, Mario said something last week. I'm never really satisfied because I'm always trying to ascend.
Okay.
Now I'm looking around like I just accomplished some major goals, and I still looking for that little cherry on top. You
Okay.
know what I mean? So I'm looking at my energy. I'm like going back to the board saying, like, let me look. I'm real close to pulling off the finale of what I'm trying to achieve. So let me look at how I personally am spending my time and energy. You know what I mean? What am I putting my time into? And I find myself putting a lot of uh, time into social media. And second of all, I did it that way. Hopefully, people say, okay, he ain't on social media. Let me call him or text him, because, like I say, people are sending me stuff all day, and I'm responding. Before I know it, I'm on there an hour or two. So it's me. Look
So
at that.
what are you gonna fill that void with? Because social media takes up a lot of time, and I'm trying to monitor my usage also. But what are you gonna fill that void with? Because in your post, I mean, in your thing, you said you're gonna. I think you said something about repairing relationships. Was that or I don't know. I would have to bring it up what you said, but
It
I
ain't what
want
you
to talk
think.
about that. Okay, talk about. Tell me.
No, man, I'm just in a place, bro. The way, the way that right now, Dre was a reminder.
Hmm.
You know, they talked to Dre 11:30 at night. 11:30 the next morning, he was completely gone. And I'm watching this weekend alone, all these people dying. So I'm like, bro, like I can't take time for granted anymore. And the Gary V thing got to me as well
What's
because I
that?
want to buy one more property, right? And I said
Hmm.
I'll be straight and I can be comfortable. But I'm over here frustrated. So that's where my energy going. So this week I'll be doing some mortgage law classes. So that'll be my personal time. So I won't have time to get on social media. But second of all, I'm trying to get tired my kids, trying to get them. If I leave here tomorrow, I want them to be fully prepared, or at least them have a concept of what life is. I can
Okay.
lead them like most people tomorrow, lead them all these properties, and them not being educated on ownership, them niggas go and sell what I've worked hard to get and blow it overnight. Until Gary
Okay.
Vee said something. When Gary Vee was like, "Who the hell are you?" I'm like, what do you mean? And he was like he was talking to me. He was like, we're pushing our kids out there to figure it out. And they said most of us didn't figure out life till we was 40 years old, 30, 40 years old.
Hmm.
And that
Yeah.
slapped me in my face. So with Kendall's supposed to went to the military. He's, Tyler, he's in music. So I want to take that time and get back to them. I can't say job well done. So let me put some energy back into those kids. And, like I won't be here next month. Let me spend what I have and invest it in them. Not
Mm.
to rant on, but that's redirect their energy into something productive.
I definitely understand that. I definitely understand that. That's funny that you say that too, because as of right now, you have two gangster rapping kids. How do you
Right.
feel about that? Because, like, how do you feel about that? You have two gangster rapping kids, and yeah, talk about that. Elaborate on that. How do
I
you feel about that?
want that is another one of the triggers, bro. Like for my kids to see the life, to know who I was in my early years, right?
Hmm.
To see me bust my ass, to give them the opportunity. Sorry, Tyler. Tyler went to the finest schools in Orlando. You know what I mean? Top notch, like the Orlando version of Bel Air. Kendall got picked up, took to school, like the biggest investments. So yeah, this week I was looking like all this opportunity because Tyler should have been in the NFL. So I'm
Okay.
watching the draft and I'm like, like all those hours of me going to practices and watching and cleats and camps and these Negroes gangster rappers, man. Right, yeah, it's like it's really tough, dog.
But what did you do? And when you was their age, what did you do? Because your mom was a pastor, and what did you do? Because I don't remember you from being some insurance salesman. I don't remember you being no River Beach councilman or nothing like that. But I remember you because what people don't know, I'm your younger brother's friend. That's how we got introduced. I
Yeah.
was your young. Me and Norman was solid, and what still is. But that's how I know you, and I didn't know you from being a good guy. I didn't know you from having a good job or nothing like that. I know you from the street, so well, how do you balance that? Because you did it too.
And that's what the Gary Vee thing kind of checked me on because the towns the towns are my granddad was a very successful, like he wasn't poor by a long shot. And I look back on it, I listen, I was remember the years that I was in music. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like I ain't never write about no killing and stuff like these kids do, but that's what sells. So I look back on this like I worked hard for they wouldn't play with my demons. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? So, but I look back on it, like, yeah, that's early on. That's who I was. But the difference was I never wanted that. I did it like, bro, if I can make this, I'm gonna do that. Like the area that we come from, we didn't want to be out there. You know what I mean? Now these kids hustle for image and likes and fun.
Yeah.
and rap, and I don't get that. I had to do things because I had a newborn baby and nobody to turn to, and I was a broken man that said I would never let my child go hungry or be feel neglected like like I felt.
Hmm. Okay. You still did wrong, so we don't give hand claps over here for doing wrong. But I definitely understand that. I understand what you're talking about because I had to go. I went through the same thing. I want to say had to go. Be cautious when I say had to go. Or I had to just making it so I had no other choice. Now again, I wish somebody would have educated me on different choices to make.
Right.
But I did know I had another avenue to go, and I had no excuse because I was dealing in the substance that my mother was abusing. So that I understand exactly
Yeah.
what you got going on with that. But
Eh, I don't say I'm wrong because I was like Nino Brown, baby, in my community, passing out turkeys in my community.
okay, that don't wash away the wrong. But okay, uh, yeah. So what did you learn from last show? Because I got a conversation with Hardy. He gave me a call, and you know how those conversations can go about an hour. I know he gave you a call or whatever. But what did you take away from last week's show?
Actually, I don't think me and Mario did speak. I think I had more commentary with actual people, women that reached out and was like, "Oh my God, this show, like that show was everything." You know what I mean? And yeah, and most of the focus was about Chris Leo.
Uh,
Oh my God, I just want to do. He just needs some good love. I'm like,
is
okay,
that right?
yeah. I said, game on. I'm gonna cry next episode. But what I took away from it, bro, is just I didn't do the show for anybody else but me. I didn't do no simp stuff. I come on there and I laid it out. So what my takeaway from the show was a mirror. It made me look at myself. What I mean by that, bro, like me and you talked about three things. So even with the relationship stuff, we can laugh and be like how we wrong. We would talk toxic stuff. Like if you teach a pit bull to fight, he's gonna fight,
Yeah.
right? So we would talk all this toxic stuff for so long. What else could we have done? We gotta applaud ourselves. What else could we be if that's what we ingested daily? You know what I'm saying? So I took away the being able to recognize,
Mm,
being to recognize and reform on our own. I think that was the takeaway that I had from the show.
that's cool. I understand that. I think with me, dog, like a lot of I got a lot of energy in the show towards apologizing to my BM. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people saying that. Now, that's something I've already done, but I got like no, more than one woman in my inbox telling me that that's what I should do. So I'm gonna switch it off of me. What about you? Do you ever feel like you need to go mend those and mend and heal those wounds between you and your ex-wife?
Yeah, no.
Why
Yeah,
is
no.
that?
Because I had those days. I am. That's the thing I be talking about, bro. Like, f what happened, I focus on today. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that was my talk to myself today. As miserable as the last year was, and all the stuff we went through, it took all of that to make who I like right now, Chris. Bro, I'm in an amazing place. Like I'm looking back, like, damn, bro, I just went through all that ugliness and I actually feel amazing, as far as like seeing my growth and seeing me being able to recognize stuff and trying to even be in the right mind to say that I want to be a better person. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like the old me, we just us, we go leave her, go to a next chick, you know what I mean, and go to the next chick. Like we act out, you know.
Okay.
But I would say this: I can look at myself and know whether you agree or not, and I want you to call me out on that. I felt like I was accountable for me this year, and I don't, if that person ever said, "Hey, we would have a conversation," but I've been praying a lot on that, and God told me to reach out, but you're gonna have to work with me. You're gonna have to work with me
Mm,
on that, bro, because communication is two ways. Even a fight is two ways, and I've never heard that person say that they was wrong
That
at
was,
all.
is that all you need? And why does that
No,
mean? Why does that mean so much to you?
because honestly, bro, I just be honest. Image, like, bro, if you, I think I'm a decent dude, man. I'm not perfect. I'm not always right, but I fell on that sword like a man should. After the relationship, I talked about me. I didn't talk about my ex. I didn't go out in the community and say, "Oh, she did this, she did that," and da 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 da. Da. That was nobody's business. I fell on that sword,
Did she?
but
Did she do that?
I got assassinated like a mother, man. I got assassinated, and it made me look at them different.
What was your expectations? Did you expect her not to do that? Do you expect her not to
Yeah,
frame that way? How would you have liked her to express herself? Because I'm gonna just play devil's advocate here. This is a woman that was married to you,
hmm
but we didn't, like, a lot of us that was close to you didn't know that y'all were married because the ring came so late.
hmm
There was no ceremony. Never changed the name on Facebook. So maybe this woman felt as though that you wasn't really taking that seriously, and maybe that's was why she acted that way. What do you think about that?
and maybe I wasn't, because last week, like you apologized to your baby mama on that show. You heard me say what? If I could redo it, I said I did think I robbed us of those moments because, like I was telling Chris, those are the things you go back and focus on. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? When you had your hard time, you got to think about your best moments. And in the midst of ripping each other apart, trying to, I guess make each other better, we didn't have a lot of those moments to reflect on. You know what I'm saying? But I really, honestly, no, I didn't. I don't want you to say, don't say nothing. You know what I mean? Like, not stuff that's untrue, and that's probably what hurt me, and it disappointed me. It disappointed me, but I can only handle me and take care of me. That's it.
You get a lot of hate from the show. You get a lot of negative energy from the show. You do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I have text messages about you. They come to me, and I kind of deflected or whatever. But it is interesting to hear what people say. Would you like me to read some of these mean text messages about you?
You can. It's good for rating to get them
Okay.
videos.
This was after your post about uh about your social media hiatus. The girl says, I asked I asked that because of seeing Horace's post. I said that's why I laughed. She said, I mean, who the fuck cares? Is the show still is the show taking a break? I said, no, we're still doing the show. I guess we'll find out about that Monday. She says, no shade, because I know that's your boy and all, but it's a no for me. He's far too cocky for him for him being him. I really had to take a breather because if I'm not high, I have no filter, and I was gonna let him have it. How do you feel about that?
She's so unbothered that she took time to write you about me.
Yes, yes, he did.
And you better warn her, Chris, who the fuck
Okay.
I am. Sorry to say.
I'm just saying.
I will
This ain't,
unload right back on her ass.
these are I get text messages about this about you a lot, dog. They say you too cocky,
Hmm
you talk too much shit. You know what I'm saying? You think you're bigger than what you is and all that. How do you deal with that? Do you ever hear it?
Been dealing with it all my life.
Mm,
No,
how
not
so?
really. Not really. I really don't give a damn because the way I see people put on for Instagram, social media, I could care less. Because the reality of the show is like we had that conversation one week on the show. I was like, people will get mad at me about the topics, and I'm like, do you know collectively we go with the topic? I'm just the host. Like
But why do you think you the guy that people love to hate? Like it got to be something about that.
it didn't start that way. Who was the
Okay.
person that hated on the show?
I've always had negative energy coming from the show since day one, so
But now
I
they love you.
understand that.
But now they love you.
They have a weird way of showing they love.
Yeah, no, everybody on there want to hug you and you so broken and whatnot. Now they love you now because you're broken and they want to love you, right? People like to be the superhero. Now
Okay.
all of a sudden I'm the hated show, and what's changing my show? What's changed about me? Nothing but two things:
What's that?
me sharing with my cast members, oh, my new house, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
or my new truck. So if that
Mm-hmm.
make you mad, it says more about you than me, because the people that might make that comment has never actually had a actual comment with me. You watching a social media, so that's why I feel the same way with Kevin Samuels. People hate Kevin and they want to get him taken off air when you could simply not watch the damn show.
But I think that adds to the show. I think the female, the negative energy that you get from the women, I think it adds to the show. I just wanted to know how you feel about it because it gets. I've had some text messages that worse. I've had some text messages that said he had no right to be talking about that. He don't even look good enough to be talking like that. Like people have some negative. Women have some negative things to say about you. Now
Yeah.
I don't get it to you. I don't never get it to you because in my inbox I'm like, oh man, that's funny. I hear that all the time and stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that. I just laugh it off, but because I want them to continue to watch the show. But yeah, I hear that a lot.
Read that comment there. You gotta like above people. You shut your shit don't stink.
See that?
Yeah.
No, what people feel that way. Why
Yeah.
do you
But
think people feel that way about
who
you?
who who is that coming from?
That coming from Vanessa.
Yeah. And that's
A
a biased comment.
watcher of the watcher of the show, a supporter of the show, basically since day one. That's who that's coming from.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah,
You,
I don't take that serious. No, I don't
okay?
take it serious. Because in reality, what has changed? Nothing's changed, but you've seen me actually execute on the things that I said I want to do. If that bothers you, then who cares?
A lot of people, a lot of them do.
Yeah.
What about let's get an update on your relationship. How you doing on your? I don't want to say relationship because I don't know if you're in a relationship. I'll say, how is your love life? Is it any potentials? Is it what's going on? You got a new spot. All these things going good for you. Can you master capturing your lady?
I'm not there right now.
What do you
I'm
mean?
not there. I've met a lot of amazing people. Right now, my focus is on I'm this close to achieving some lifetime dreams, some lifetime goals. If it happens organically, cool. But that's not something I wake up and say I'm looking for right now. So
How can you not? How can you not say that? Because and I say that because I've seen ever since you left social media, I see this reoccurring post about being a gatherer, and I always wanted to talk to you about that gatherer comment. And
you
I see
would.
it
You
constantly
would.
posted.
You would. Thanks a lot.
What do you mean about that? What do you mean about you are a gatherer? What do you mean you're not looking? We have to always look. We can't never be like saying we're gonna take some time for me. That's like what females do. We have to always look. We got to multitask. We got to build a mountain. I mean, we got to build a castle and look for the queen at the same time. So I don't give you no excuse on that. What do you mean you're not looking? You the one said we got 30 summers left. What the fuck you mean you're not looking?
And I'm gonna spend my last 30 summers focused on some coochie the cat.
No, but you can't minimize them to that. You got to
Really?
minimize. I said I'm looking for your lady,
You
the
answered
queen
your
of
own
that cat, the
question though.
queen of the castle.
But you answered your own question. Because listen, this is what the stuff we've always done is the reason that we're in the same position. Like hunters, we got people out here who don't even have they can't even take care of themselves, don't have their shit together. And every time they out there, they at this chick, they at that chick, they at that chick, that chick. As
Yeah,
compared to me, as a gatherer, I like to meet people, get some conversations, build friendships, and have things that are more sustainable. Like
but you've
I'm
been
not
hurt doing
trying to,
that too. But you've
I,
been hurt doing that too.
yeah, but
You don't have a long list of successful relationships using that tactic. So is it
but
time to change it?
no, because I've been in nothing but long term relationships. I ain't got no list of I done been with 100 people.
So what do you
I've
think
been
it
in
is then, bro? What do you
any
think it is? Because I've been around you. I've been around you. And that gatherer thing, yes, that is true. You are very accommodated. You cook. The place is always clean. What is it do you think that has made these previous relationships, because you have a marriage in your funeral, in your cemetery. You got baby mamas in your cemetery. You have flings in your cemetery. What's going on? What do you think it is? And because you're the common denominator now.
It was me.
Okay, what is it?
It was me.
What is it that the women in your life romantically have an issue with you? The internet, these women have an issue with you. What do you think it is?
Nah, I ain't gonna let you get away with that, Chris.
Okay.
Because at the beginning of the mid-season, remember I bragged in the most toxic way that everybody I dated, I left them.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was effed up. But I didn't have bad relationships. I just had relationships that didn't give me, like, I pushed it to the red. Like, it could have been 80%, it could have been 85. I wanted 100. So most of the relationships I walked away from was because of me. You know what I mean? And I was nowhere the person I am today would be in any one of those relationships.
So you telling me,
Yep,
these women are going to come to the court and say, Your Honor, I left this man that cooks, cleans, provide,
I
preaches.
left them, Chris. So how you mean?
Oh, okay. I forgot. My bad.
I left them, and I got to look back on that. That's effed up. Like, I left people that probably generally cared about me. You know what I mean? And because of my own insecurities, you know what I mean? The fear of rejection. I'm seeing shit hard, not working it out, not being tough. I wasn't the person I am today.
And who are you today? What's gonna change? What's different? What's so different about you?
A person that's gonna look at in a relationship and look at my aspect of what I can do. You know, a lot of times in a relationship, Chris, as men, it's easy for us to say when shit going wrong, she ain't doing this, she ain't doing that, she ain't doing this, and we never look at us. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when we get away with that, oh God, we get away with that. But you know, get into a spot where, hold on, Zay, get into a spot where I'm looking at me, just like with this last relationship. This year, what did you hear me? You heard Horace just talk about me.
Okay.
Forget what they done. I talked about what I could have did. And that was the conversation that was foreign to me. Because before, I'm through with her, I'm about to go get this one. I'm through with this one, I'm about to go this one. And most of the time, we leave somebody knowing our heart is still there, but we go over here and get with the other person, you know what I mean, knowing that we still over there. We did a lot of toxic stuff. So I'm saying, as a grown man, I'm a different person now.
Okay.
I'm like, the Negro, bring it.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. How do you know? Let's go, baby.
How do you know? You ain't been in no relationship. You ain't displayed this new nothing, and you ain't even. And for what you talk about, you ain't even trying to. So how you know you so ready and you so brand new now? Thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up whenever you goddamn feel like it, Antigua Zay. But
you
we
welcome.
have a deep conversation.
Hey, let me answer this, because Chris out here throwing mud pies tonight.
Man.
Because I can recognize, ego aside, I can smell my own shit. I can look back on my previous relationships and see where, like, damn, I did some things. You know what I mean? That wasn't proper. You know what I'm saying? So today, from all those bad relationships or the things I've done, I can look at today and say, okay, just like you said last week, you've grown. You would never hurt a woman like you did before. I'm saying I understand clearly as a man, my roles as a man and as a husband, boyfriend, father. Like, I am so committed to fulfilling my side of the ball right now.
Can you really say that though?
Boy, yeah, I can say that.
How? Because it sounds one-sided. It sounds like you went in and you made all these decisions and you assessed the problem, but you never asked the other side how they felt so that you can get understanding. It just sounds like you went through the problem by yourself, and you know you do that, and then but then you figured everything out on your own, and you're saying, okay, it's solved. I know the antidote, and that's not necessarily true.
Why it's not? Because before, those conversations didn't happen.
Yeah. So now that we've done the work now, and we understand that these conversations didn't happen, I think what Chris was saying to you earlier don't you think it's your duty to try to go ahead and at least, as the new man that you say that you are, have the conversation that you didn't have before. It's a hard conversation to have, but I think it's a necessary one so that this refined horse that you're talking about has both the understanding and the confidence of knowing, all right, I got the answer, but I understand the answer
And
and why it's the way it is.
Who I'm having that conversation with?
Well, ex-wife, bro. We're not gonna tap dance around this shit, bro. You about 3 days away from your birthday,
No.
bro. This is no. You gotta have the conversation, bro. You
If
that's
that
a
person-
that's. Yo, you was on the show talking about at the beginning of the show. You talking about in the beginning of the season when we started the show. You talking about widow, dog. You don't talking that woman in a positive light. What are you holding on to for now? What the fuck are you holding on to? That shit been gone. When you gonna have that conversation?
Yeah, I think you kind of out of it, Chris, because what am I having a conversation? That is yesterday. That is done.
Because if you don't have the conversation, we don't talk to her. As you as my homeboy, I don't talk to her anymore because you don't talk to her. She never did nothing wrong to me.
Yeah, and you should. Hey, I appreciate you bringing that comment up. And I'm saying my heart is clear. Where I'm saying, bro, I don't feel a way if you, because she's a life coach and she does a lot of inspirational things. I'm not gonna feel a way if you have a conversation with her or have a friendship. So my apologies for that.
But you know how I am, bro. You know how I am. I'm on my homeboy. I ride with my homeboy no matter what. Yeah. I don't care what it is. You gonna be my friend. If she never be my friend again, that's fine. It's cool. You my homeboy. So you know I'm gonna always ride with you. But at the same time, this is a woman that I broke bread with, sat and ate dinner with, talked to, dog. Zay, when the last time you talked to her?
I haven't since she
exited.
You know what I'm
saying? And we all had a relationship with her.
Yeah.
We all had a relationship with this woman.
Okay. Did she reach out to y'all?
She did not. But she may feel like what Chris just said, all for one and one for all. So if she feels like you hate her, then she feels like we hate her, which we don't.
I don't hate her.
Right. But see, that's the way she feels until you had that conversation. I bet you she doesn't understand that, so that you get some of the things that you said that hurt you that were untrue, because I believe maybe the same thing is happening where she's formulating ideas and then coming up with her own solutions because you guys haven't had that hard conversation that me and Chris keep talking to you about.
Okay. And again, since y'all is Steve Harvey and Kevin Samuels tonight, being a big brother, communication takes two.
It does.
And listen, despite what you know, I was not the worst person that sees the communication. You know what I'm saying? So if that person was to say, hey, like I never thought we couldn't be amicable. That's the word, right?
I love it when that word happens. Say it again. Say it again.
Since y'all want to dig into my business, my grandfather passed. Like we just had 3 funerals, and I didn't get the decency to say, hey, my condolences. Like no matter what, there's certain things that you would think that's bigger than you and me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Last year when I told y'all, like, bro, I almost left here because they couldn't figure out what the hell was wrong with me. I thought I was gonna die. She was the only one that knew that. My mama didn't knew that. None of y'all knew that. It was the only person I called and said, hey, if they can't figure this out, yada yada. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
that was huge for you, right?
It was huge for me.
Right.
You know what? That person gave me the.
But you know what though? She doesn't probably understand that that was a big deal for you. So back to the word that I keep saying.
Hold on, Zay. He was in a hospital. No surgery is minor surgery.
Right.
All surgery is major because it's being done on you. So I kind of feel him on that one. Like, hey, hold on now. I did reach out in this kind of way. Now, what I think she may have felt, I don't know, but I think she may have felt is like you're trying to make her your emotional dumpster. Like, I'm going through this and I'm gonna put this on her without there being any prior conversations.
But you know what we all doing right now?
That wasn't that.
But you know what we all doing?
Speculating.
Yep. You know what we could have just did? Had a conversation.
We had a conversation that time, since y'all gonna put it on me tonight and we doing open mirror. What it was, I trusted them enough to say, because they had a relationship with my son, to say, hey, if this happens, this is where this is at, this is where my banking is. Help him go through it. Walk him out. I had enough trust in that person. You know what I'm saying? And that person gave me that. And whether it's true or not, my son came back and had some comments that they had where she put it like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? So whether it's
Again, I
true or
told
not,
you.
what I'm saying
Mhm.
to you guys is I'm at peace. Other than that one moment where I said I'm widowed because I felt like I was getting assassinated, y'all can't tell me that I've talked about her at all on this show. Negative, nothing. I don't have
No, we would have stopped you.
what?
We would have stopped you. We don't
You
do
can't
that.
stop me from doing nothing.
Yeah, of course. We can tell you that that's not manly or something like that. You would have
You
stopped.
made
Don't
me
worry
say the N
about it.
word. Shut up. Listen. Point is, I think I put my best foot forward this whole season. I made it about me. I didn't make it about anybody else.
I can dig that,
Yeah,
and I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But
still
like
sound aggressive.
we all gotta do. We gotta keep on growing. We gotta keep on evolving. We gotta have those tough conversations because if that's a conversation that we practice on having when it's time to negotiate $1 billion deals, that's gonna
Come
come
easier.
easily
Yep.
because you're used to uncomfortable conversations, and I understand that. But while we're talking about uncomfortable conversations, Zay, let's talk about your uncomfortable conversation that you're supposed to be having.
I was gonna get to that. And the
Yeah,
Yeah,
reason why I'm saying and you can because
you
I
ain't
can
got to out
relate to you,
your me.
Har. That's fine. I can relate with you, Horace, because I was in that same predicament where when my father died. You know what I'm saying? It's things like you said that you held on to with my child's mother. I sat right there and explained to her we were celebrating my daughter's birthday, like days before my father passed away. I sat down and said, I'm here with y'all, but my mind and my body and soul is with my dad back in Palm Beach. But this is what's going on. And I took the time to explain to her what was going on with my father. The doctor told me, yeah, any day now, it's a wrap. And got back to Palm Beach and didn't even check on my father. It's crazy because a lot of times why I didn't even want to fool with you or do anything for you regarding our child or whatever the case may be. That man said, don't do that. He spoke up for you. So yeah, that hurt me that you didn't even check on him, but was upset with me. Like I didn't tell you what happened. You feel me? So that understanding that I'm telling you to get, Horace, is also a conversation I gotta have. Like, yo, that really I felt like was low. You probably don't even understand or even thought about it at all because it didn't matter to you. But I'm telling you, because I understand this, me growing and evolving into the Zay that I am. Listen, all I want you to do is just understand me. And I just want to be as a man, as upfront and as transparent as can be. You can feel how you feel, like you said, Horace. I can't control that, but I can't control me. So what I'm gonna do is the thing that I can control, which is I'm gonna be upfront about how I felt with you, because at the end of the day, whether we together or not, you're gonna have a love, especially if you have a child with them and you were married. So I definitely know that you have a love. You feel me? So what they do with the information that you give them has nothing to do with you. But as a man, I think you need to have that conversation so you can take away the speculation of, oh, you did this to me. She probably don't even know because it wasn't something that was high on her meter of caring about, which I understand why you were mad. It's the same reason why I was mad. I cared, so I thought you cared, but that's not right. Hearts and minds are different. So that's why I said have a conversation. That's why I bust your ass about it, because it's the same thing that I got to do.
And I'm just saying that right now on my day-to-day list, with my ideology of 30 summers left, that
Mm-hmm.
is not high up there. If the person ever called, it takes two. That's all.
Chris get
Y'all
on me
forget.
about this.
It takes two. It takes two
Yeah,
people to fight. It takes two people to communicate. So you don't knock on closed doors, right? Let that if it don't mean nothing to them, how am I make it mean something to me? Sometimes you make your own closure and you move forward.
very true. But I
you
just
do.
think I'm gonna say one part, Chris, and I'm gonna let you go. My bad. Chris always get on me about this because you always talk about what the other person doing, what are you doing. So yes, you can get that closure, but it's a better closure, I think, when you say, well, you know what? It ain't on me. I did everything that I could have done, and the rest it is what it is. But like I said, I just think that there are points where I don't think that you made it clear, the understanding part. And you may have. I'm speaking over here as your brother.
And I
That
feel
maybe.
like I do feel like this year
Mm-hmm.
that I was righteous in how I operated this year. You know what I
All right.
mean? Because it takes a lot to know. Listen, it takes a lot for you to get to a good place where you really wish somebody well. You can have love for them. It might you want somebody else, but I treat y'all this. It's about choices.
Yeah,
You're gonna stop somebody from making a choice.
you
You know
can't.
what I mean? So no, I'm in a different place. Like, bro, I really wish them well. They,
Hmm.
whatever they're doing, those are choices they're making, and they have every right to make those choices. And that's what I'm saying. I've been righteous on my side of the ball. So maybe I'm
But
wrong. Maybe bring Katina on and she tell me something, but that's
Yeah.
where I'm at.
What's up,
I,
Chris?
what I will say is this: do you think that you suffer from your ex-wife ghost? And I say that because a lot of times when there's a big hiatus between relationships, and I know this because I've had a big hiatus between my last relationship. A lot of times we suffer from the ghost of the past girl, where we
Hmm.
feel like if she ain't better than this chick, I ain't even gonna do it because now whoever I get seen with next, I want her to be like, okay, well, he respectable. Do you ever think you hunted by that ghost? Because I know I am. I was always hunted by that ghost of the last girl. I want to make sure the next girl is even better because that ego shit that we
Mhm.
got going on. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, it ain't you. It's a Leo in you. But no, I'm not hunted by that ghost. I'm hunted by this ghost. The fact that you could be so close to having everything. And I feel like I can't talk for them, but I will. If both of us
Hmm.
did more, did better, and had those ugly conversations, those unsaid conversations, that marriage could have been everything we ever dreamed it was. That's the
Agreed.
ghost that hunts me. But as far as that person, no, because I'm going to explain this. No shade to the person, but the person's a phenomenal person. I didn't date after the divorce because, again, bro, all my life I had been in relationships and didn't know me. Listen, right out of high school, 5 year relationship, another 5 year relationship, 3 year relationship, and then this was like a 9 year relationship. That's damn near, do the math. That's damn near 20 some years of nothing but relationships.
How many times did
So
you go
I
into
didn't want to
depression?
go right back into another relationship for the
Hmm.
first time. Like I told y'all, bro, let me
How
let
many
tell
times
you.
did you go into depression while you was in those relationships? Because I've seen you went through depression during while being single. So is it better?
Mm.
Is it a better life while single? Is it a better quality of life? I should say, because things is good. The house and cars, whatever the case may be, is your quality of life better
Better.
while you were single? Because again, well, I don't know about you going through depression. I don't know about you going through these feelings that you've been expressing about on this show. I know you've been expressing these feelings and you've been single the whole time. Are
Yeah,
you having a better life now?
yeah, yeah. Cause it is, Chris. Cause I really feel like I'm giving you stuff here, right? I've been single after this divorce. I went through depression because of these variables. One, bro, for the first time in my life, my kids were all grown. I didn't have nothing to deal with but myself for once. You know what I'm saying? Like I got an empty net. I don't have no excuse. I'm not working. I've got no job to get up to every morning. I ain't got no kids to drop off to school. So when you go sit in your closet for an hour. You know what I mean? Like, so imagine having this much time to start to peel back some stuff. And
I
what put
want
me into depression, Chris, was me starting to recognize all the things that had me so effed up as in life. Recognizing that stuff that I experienced as a child was still affecting me today.
to read Cortina Peters' comment, but this is how we learn and grow.
Hmm.
That is a layered question, Chris.
Yeah,
Of
Chris.
course, Cortina. I am not a psychologist. I'm not skilled at this. Maybe if we send you the link, you can ask them the proper questions.
Yeah.
These are homeboy questions that we're gonna do. Send Cortina a link because I'm not a professional at this. These are just homeboy questions that I'm asking. They're gonna be layered. They'll probably be incorrect, but this is how we
Talk.
communicate, and we try to get to the bottom of it at all times. Because I feel like it's good that we having this open conversation right now. Because again, I don't know. I thought your quality was life was better when you was with her. I seen you smile more when you was with your ex-wife.
Well,
Yeah,
listen,
I
I
you
feel like
having
I'm being
anger.
ambushed tonight, people. I just
You
want
have
to know that, okay? The
you have
Lions
been
Den
angry a lot lately, Harsh.
the Lions Den is just that. Okay? Don't come in the Lions Den. You be ready, be hammered up. But no, Chris, we Negro, you talk about me. this year has been a growing for all of us, bro. For the first time, like I said, my ass took the time to actually look at. So yeah, I was sitting there with my wounds, like, but I looked at it from my standpoint. All the ghosts, the stuff I should have did, I didn't do. Looking at, so it is what it is, Chris.
Mm.
I think you're missing the good parts. What I'm saying.
I'm listening. I'm listening to what you're saying. I personally liked her. I just gonna keep it real. I personally liked her, and I was rooting for that situation. I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I liked her. Dog, me and your wife had a lunch together and had conversation, and it was a cool conversation. Every time she greeted me, just like she's a high school cheerleader, but she greeted me with she was happy all the time, dog. I liked that lady. Yeah. I liked that lady.
She's a phenomenal person.
And I'm dealing with that now. I'm dealing with my homeboys having relationships, choosing wives, and then if they get separated from them wives, now I no longer get to see that have that relationship with that woman. Because if you my homeboy's lady, at that point we we family, we cool.
No, we are.
Everything's good. But when that relationship goes, because I got a homeboy right now that Deacon is separated from his lady, I don't get to see that woman's children no more. When I gain a relationship with them children, I don't get to ever see them grow up anymore. And that stuff affects us all, dog. As a homeboy, that shit affects us too. When y'all get into these marriages and run away, that affects all of us.
How you think the man feels? I mean, the man, your partner that's divorcing feels some kind of way as well. What I'm saying is, now that we've had that conversation, bro, feel free to have a conversation and be a friend. But at the end of the day, you my friend. So when anything that's said that's not less than pleasing, that's when I expect my friend to go in there and at least be fair and say, hold up, you know what I mean? We're not going to do this and not going to do that. That's what I expect from my friend. I don't expect you not to be a friend with them.
They don't have those conversations with us.
I say it like this. What I won't do is add on to it. I want to hear what you got to say. I want to hear, just like when I take these DMs. I want to hear what people have to say. I don't want them to feel like you can't say it to me because it's my homeboy. What I won't do is engage in it. What I won't do is help talk about it. But what I will do is listen, because you need honest, unfiltered feedback. That's why I read that text message to you, because this is honest feedback. And if a person feel as though they can't say it to me, then how can I ever give you the truth?
And guess what? Finally, a professional comes. I've been attacked tonight.
Hello, Cortina. Hello.
Hi.
What's up, Cortina?
I have a show tonight, and I get ambushed. Do you see? And then me trying to be transparent, and it just seems like no matter what I say, it's not enough, even though it's 100% my truth.
Can I interject a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, right before, hold on, can I interject? Right before, because we're going to have to unpack this too, Katina. My auntie wants me to make some announcement about something I said last week on the show. Baby sister, I call her baby sister because that's her nickname in the family. You've been with a married man that long time. So if you want me to make a statement about him, we'll tell the truth. You've been with a married man. It doesn't matter if she just got the ring. She is still married. So that's what you want me to say. That's what I'm gonna say.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Cortina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm
great,
fine.
Great. How you doing, Cortina?
Okay, so you guys are just beating up Mr. Towns so bad. Oh my God, he's really in the hot seat.
Right.
I was, sitting in the audience like, oh my gosh, but you guys are bringing up so many good points. So when it comes to depression, the first thing that I know when I said, Chris, that your question was very layered, because you say, is it easier single or being in a relationship? So you have to look at depression like this. There's neurotransmitters that's involved when we're talking about the chemicals that's happening when you're depressed. So you have dopamine, serotonin. These are all things. So if you have a lack of serotonin, which is the feel-good hormone, and dopamine, but it regulates kind of like how you feel. It doesn't matter if I'm married. It doesn't matter if I'm single, because I am having a chemical response in my brain that causes me to feel a certain way. So that is part of that. Now, when we talk about nature versus nurture, so the nurture is your environment, because there are research, well, there is research that suggests that it's also environmental that could exacerbate what you feel when we're talking about depression. So I think that having a strained relationship, having those extra external factors that are not healthy or positive could cause someone to feel like they are more depressed. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily depressed. I would say it's more of a weight. It's heavier to carry when you're talking about trying to resolve depression. And some people think, okay, I'm in this horrible relationship. Now, let me back up a little bit. You have clinical depression and you have situational depression, two totally different things, right? Depressional is like, situational is like, oh, I found that I got cancer. I'm going to be sad. It's not clinical where there are imbalances inside of me where I have to maybe take medication. You may have to for a little bit, but when we're talking about clinical depression, it doesn't come from a specific source. However, if you are grieving, that could be the beginning point that may cause you to go into clinical depression if you stay there too long. Like if somebody died, we're going to be sad. We might be depressed. That's even a part of the stages of grief, loss, grief, and death and dying, depression. But you don't really stay there for long periods of time. We're talking about 6 months, can't get out of bed, don't want to take a bath, don't want to eat, don't want to do anything, lose interest in friends and people and things that you used to enjoy. So that's one of the biggest things. So that's why, Chris, I said your question was very layered, because it's not like black and white. There's so many different currents and shades of gray when we're talking about depression.
Yeah, I see things black and white.
Oh, don't I know it?
Yeah, I was getting beat up, and I felt like I was trying, for the sake of conversation, be transparent and be open. That's what I feel like I've been doing on the show. But it was like another question, another question, another question, and I felt like I was being honest, and it just seemed like it wasn't.
See, that's he running that shit when he's getting that sexy voice. When he getting that sexy voice, that's when he wants. Well, I just he running that shit on you now.
But this is the thing. So oftentimes, it takes, and this is for all of you, because I've seen periods when all of you have been, from watching the shows, all of you have had periods of time where you have been very vulnerable. I think that's part of what makes the show so great, is because of the vulnerability that you guys display, and you're very real. Like, you don't try to sugarcoat it. You guys get into your little spats sometimes, but that's what makes it real. I think that's what makes raw, pure content. And I wish more people would say how much they like the show or comment, because I know in the top of the show, that was something that you guys were talking about, how people come up to you afterwards and say, oh, we absolutely love the show, but they don't necessarily comment. And the comments is what's going to, boost you with your numbers and your ratings and everything like that. So that's the important part. But when it comes to sharing and being vulnerable, in my mind, even though you guys don't always have a professional, it's kind of like your own little group therapy a little bit, because you guys dialogue, you talk, and you asked the question earlier, Horace, about growth. When you guys first started the show to where you are now, I have seen significant growth in all of you. I would have to say probably the person I see the most growth in is Chris. Yes. And this is just me from the outside. I think some of your perspectives are not as hardcore or very rigid like they used to be. I think you're much more open-minded to some things, to some of the topics that come up, which is kind of shocking.
You got y'all food.
Than you were in the beginning. Because like Horace said, a lot of people, you was like on the hate list in the beginning, like,
right.
What the hell is going on with the date doctor? Like, no. And then now, you're like a fan favorite. So I think this has been beneficial to all of you.
Well, I like to give a shout out to my sister, man. Me and my sister has started to have a lot more conversation. I think maybe since the incident with her getting shot in the face with the cops and stuff like that, I think it's been good that she's been able to lean on me more. But we've had deeper conversations. So I try to run things by her. So I can have an honest conversation with a person that I may disagree with, but I know I love. So I gotta kind of not filter it, but not make it as deliberate as hard as I normally would. So I take those type of conversations and then I put that into my presentation on the show. Plus, I got a 13-year-old daughter now, so and we just had to have a conversation. We had to have a teenage conversation. I had it all week, and boy, that was a tough conversation. But I wanted to have a teenage conversation with her. So I think that a lot of that is starting to, do something. So
hey, Chris, you know that thing that you're developing is called understanding. You know, I keep kind of bellowing that out a whole lot because I want you to get it. So like your toxic masculinity that they were so against in the beginning of this our show setting is now starting to meet some femininity, and it's softening you up a little bit, and it's making you understand that the way that you look at things is not the only way that it is. You know what? There's definitely maybe another possibility.
You notice how bad it is too?
Talk to me.
I hate that shit too, man. I'm glad you
that's
know
honest,
how bad it is.
but that's honest. I can agree with that. That's honest. And that's real. Ain't nothing wrong with that, dog. But it makes you a better person at the end of the day, though, Chris. And I think when we become better versions of ourselves, like we're all talking about that we are growing to be, then it open us up to some of those other things that, as we talked about on the last show, we fear to do. We just didn't understand it.
Yeah, I just didn't like being attacked tonight.
I don't think that we were attacking you. The crazy part about that, Cortina, is this how guys talk. Like when we key in on something and we see that this is something that's bothering you, bro, hey, we gotta address it. They do it to me all the time.
So I would say challenge, not attack. Because challenging is good. I challenge my patients all the time because if I don't challenge you, I'm not pushing you to think deeper. Because you can give me a surface BS answer. That's the easy way. But if I'm pushing you to challenge some of your mindsets and the way that you're thinking about some of the things that you're saying, that's what friends are supposed to do. I challenge you to question the things that you are saying.
So why do you think Horace is hated the way he is on this show?
I didn't know he was hated. I didn't know.
Would you like
his hate now real?
Would you like me to read some?
No,
they talk bad about him. People say, man, I can't stand. He always talking that cocky shit like he all that, and he, you know what I'm saying? He don't even look good enough to be talking like that.
But see, this is the thing when it comes to that, right? So one of the things that Horace said earlier, he was like, oh, I'm not feeding into that, which is great because everybody's going to have an opinion, especially when you're on the public platform. There are people who are doing great things and people don't like them,
Right.
Everybody's not going to like everybody. And so if I don't worry about the naysayers, one of the things about that is I just check myself to see if I'm okay with myself. And if I'm okay with myself, it doesn't matter what anybody else says, because if I'm bending and flexing to appease the masses or the audience, I'm going to lose the true virtue of myself.
But we're not talking about everybody though, Cortina. We're talking about the ones you love. See, that love is changed behavior, meaning the way that I went about something, I might have to come at it a different way. That's why we busting his ass. The people we know about that, we've been dealing with haters. Cocky? Say that again?
You feel he's cocky?
Attitude always been cocky. He's a Leo. He's a jackass. He can't help it.
So if that's part of his personality and that's part of what makes him him, that's not something that I would try to change. So I'm speaking specifically on the comment. But before you came on, Chris and Horace was talking about like how Chris is like getting messages about Horace.
Yeah, I caught it.
And everything like that. Again, always checking yourself. So if I have 1 million people saying one thing about me, I need to do a self-reflection to see, okay, is what they say real? And then at the end of the day, if I am okay with showing up and presenting myself the way that I am, to each his own, then that's how you continue. But if you do see, I might need to be a little bit more flexible here, or I might need to tweak this slightly, not changing who I am, but tweaking slightly, then that's what you do.
Can I say something real quick? This was my take on this, right? So I look back on certain comments. I seen where things shifted because Chris was hated and things shifted, right? But I can understand because Chris is more understanding now. Some of his takes have really been unexpected. You respect
Mhm.
him come and be the a-hole he is or a woman hater, and he didn't come in on that way. I've said a lot of stuff that's unpopular, but it's real. Mario said the same thing, and it gets fanfare, so I laugh about it. But the thing what I looked at, what's really changed on that show, in the midst of me, it was not even a mistake. Me and my guys thinking we're inspiring and showing our people like, listen, we achieve it. Like my boys were like, bro, I want to applaud you on purchasing another house, blah, 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 blah. Right? I got a new truck. I'm showing people like I'm working and I'm trying to succeed and at my goals. So when I looked at that, when people started, their comments started changing. A lot of times I feel like people have those feelings towards you because it serves as a mirror to their inner failures. Because like if somebody had something and it bothered me, I'm going to ask myself, why does it bother me?
Mhm.
And sometimes you got to be real. You might be jealous, or you might, resent them. Somebody just won the lottery. You be like, he don't deserve that. So I always check my heart. So like you said, I looked at me and like I don't feel like I've changed. I feel like I've been more transparent on the show and more honest. But if that's cocky, it is what it is. I don't care.
But I think sometimes people don't know the balance between cocky and conceited versus me sharing like, hey, I got it. Y'all can get it too. Because when you're so used to being in an environment where you see a lot of people bragging and that's what they are boasting. I got this, you don't, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that versus no, I'm trying to show you, I know where I came from and you guys know where I came from. And if you work hard and if you do it, these are going to be the fruits of the labor. So, for example, let's take Beyonce. Okay, she came from Houston. She was always in the girls' group, but she worked very hard to get to where she is. Now she has all of this stuff, and no one never really says once you get big like that, for the most part, oh, they're being cocky. But I think sometimes the message can get lost if the people who the message is going to is filtering what you're saying with dirty lenses. And what I mean by that is if they're filtering it through dirty lenses, like, oh, everybody bragging. Oh, he one of those too. He bragging too because of past experiences. Guess what's going to come out? They're going to see you in that same light when that's not the light that you're trying to put out.
Right.
That makes sense.
Chris?
Nah.
That can happen.
Chris started a joke on the show, and it took off from there. He told me I was thirst trapping, and it started between us.
Yeah, you try to be nice to him, Tina.
And
no,
then,
he deliberately do this shit. He deliberately try to do asshole shit. He's not finna get away from that.
Okay,
he
so
deliberately try to stir up these women.
So
he deliberately try to do this stuff, man.
So give me the worst asshole thing that you think he has done on the show.
Oh,
all the time.
What he keeps on reminding you of. Oh, I said I left all these women. He meant that shit. He meant that. He really, and he took pride in that.
But if that's his truth, what's wrong with that? Because we got to understand, we live in for the most part, we want to make sure we're living in our truth. If that is his truth, what is so wrong? Isn't that what he's doing?
He's retracted and saying, well, I was wrong for saying it.
But that's, Katina, I don't understand what he's saying because that old person, that was toxic. And I'm here saying like, wow, on the show I gave it to Chris and said, wow, like I didn't even know sincerely how ignorant that was to say or how toxic that was. For me to now say openly and transparent, like, yeah, the night he asked me about relationships and I said, Chris, I was the problem. And that wasn't even a good answer saying, oh, having all the other relationships, like I look back and say I was the problem.
That's easy to do. That's why.
Huh?
That's easy to do. That's the first step, acknowledgement. Then he started talking to you about, well, now that you're acknowledging that you were the problem, what are you doing to fix it? And you're like, nothing. I already did what I'm gonna do, and I'm fine. And we like, nah, that's not what you do. Especially if you say that you love someone, you at least make that effort. That's what we were saying. But then they got misconstrued as we were jumping on you. But we just saying, bro, as a man, follow all the way through.
So what would that look like? So what you have to do is say, okay, if let's say the relationship is over, right? So I can't go back and change anything. So the only thing that I can do is when the next person comes along, I know where I messed up in my
Yeah.
past relationship. So it's not necessarily for me to have to do anything, because in my mind, my intention, I won't have to necessarily do anything until I get into the next relationship. So if I've had that aha, that discovery, I can't really test it until I get into the next relationship to see how I handle conflict.
Very true.
Right,
But
but
do
the
you
thing
think that
is-
you owe anybody an apology at any point in time? Never.
Who?
I'm just asking. Do you think that you, for the things that you said that you know that you messed up on, do you
And
think that you owe an apology?
Yes, and I gave that person an apology, whether they received it or not.
That then that was part in that I missed, because that's what I was talking about. Like you need
Okay.
to go back and approach that the proper way, whether they receive it or not. That's not on you, but
That
you
was
did it,
the
and then I can understand what you're saying about my heart being clear, and it is what it is. Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
be yourself, because
Mhm.
that's who you were born to be. But I didn't think that you had did that part, because I remember we instructed or told Chris, hey, maybe you need to sit down and have a lunch or a conversation. And a lunch and conversation, sorry about that, on where you felt like you messed up, and sincerely apologize, and then let that be whatever happens from there.
I could
You
be
don't.
here and say I did that apology probably a year ago when I was broken. I didn't have that lately. I'm better now because part of my growth and me checking was, hey, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. So I mean, I don't know what they want from me, girlfriend, therapist.
blood.
You know,
But making amends is always good, right? Because
Yeah.
how can we truly grow if we can't truly make amends? And sometimes making those amends, it could be very difficult because we don't want to make them, because we don't want to face, the past mess up, air quotes.
Now you're
That we
speaking what I
did.
was talking about.
Face it. And so when we are able to do that, what that does is it frees us from the burden of having to carry that. Because if you don't make an amends, and sometimes making an amends may not necessarily mean to that person. It may mean for you to make an amends to yourself for the messed up stuff that you've done to others, and acknowledging that, damn, I really effed this up. Like, golly, I don't want to do that anymore. So in my mind, what can I do moving forward so that this is not an issue? And I'm not just talking about relationships. I'm talking about in career. I'm talking about with your children. I'm talking about with friendships, because
But that's the thing, Christina. Like he probably don't have no dude that's really well. I don't know about hearts, but I speak for myself. I don't have no dudes that hate me. Every basketball, every sporting event, sporting team I've been on, I've been liked. Every job I've been on, been liked. The only people that dislike me is women. That's it.
That's
The
bad.
only one that say they hate me is the only one. I'm like everywhere else.
But it's like with
these women, I'm just the worst person in the world.
I mean, if you're speaking the same language of the men that's around you, one, why would they dislike you if you're not saying anything contrary to what they believe? So it's like, we from the same tribe, we speak in the same language. Now you meet, Venus, and I'm talking about all women, and it's like, oh, hell no, Mars is going crazy. Like, we can't get jiggy with that. Like, he's not speaking our language, and so now we have issues.
They do.
But even when it comes to men, there are some people that may be, and I know you guys know this, that may be around you that may not really like you. They might tolerate you.
Right, Mario.
But that doesn't mean that they like you. That doesn't even mean that they want to see you grow. There are going to be some people, just because the mere fact you guys have the platform that you do, that you were really cool with, but they might be hating on y'all and y'all don't even know it. Why? Because of this platform that you have. It was cool when you was the same person, right? Because you were here. We all here. But when you start to elevate and grow, people don't like that because it makes them uncomfortable. For some people, it feels like, damn, I'm gonna lose my friend. He gonna think he better than me. Oh my gosh, he's gonna leave me, or whatever the situation may be. And that may not even be the case in your mind. Like, I eat, my whole tribe gonna eat, but not everybody sees it like that. And you have to understand that comes from generational trauma, that comes from disrespect, that comes from broken promises, that comes from mama issues, that comes from daddy issues, that comes from all of those different things that combine to make people view situations the way that they do.
I've been making niggas upset for a long time. Then this ain't shit. I've been straight since I was on the prom court in high school. I was a signed rapper. I was
And
Talk
people
that
didn't
shit.
like you then.
Exactly. So I've been aggravating niggas. I've been getting on niggas' nerves for a long time.
But so it's different when let's just say the hood, right?
Yeah, the hating hood.
Let's say you selling drugs, you doing whatever, you putting your life at risk, you might go to jail. We all standing on the corner on the block. You might be making way more money than me, but I'm cool with you because I see us on the same kind of level. But when you start to change your mindset, it doesn't matter about money. It doesn't matter about that. But when you start to emotionally evolve and grow as an individual, that's when a lot of people get intimidated. Because if I have the knowledge and I accept and I have the awareness, like, damn, the world is bigger than this block. Like, it's out there. Like, I can do everything and more that I want to do. Not that you didn't always believe that, but people start to see the actions change and shift. Like, damn, he is being more understanding. Oh, he is doing this. Like, you changing. Like, I don't like that. Like, I knew who you was before. It didn't matter if you had 100 million cars, but I knew you. I don't know this new you, and you changing is what intimidates me. I won't tell you I don't like you, but I'm feeling some type of way because I feel like you're going higher than me emotionally.
What if I recognize that, Cortina? What if I'm recognizing that right now? So everything you said is 100. I know the spirit, it was meant for you to come on. But what if I'm recognizing that? So I'm not moved by some of the people's comments because I feel like I have been humble, even though we joke about it, but like I feel like me having transparent conversation with my peoples, if that bothers you to see me progressing, then that says more about you. Because I ain't going out there saying, oh boy, I'm not directing people, telling people they sorry and all that stuff. So that's
you stay focused on your goal. You know what your own goal is. Like, you have your own goal, whatever it is that you want to achieve. And when it comes to humble, right? And so this is something that I talk about, toxic humility. You can be so humble till it's not healthy. Right. So that's when people don't talk about what they got. Because why in our culture, we even talk, oh, no, that's bragging. No, you can't do that. Because for some of us, we're like, well, if they don't have it, I don't want to make them feel less than, or, like I got it, like I got all of this and I'm showboating. Yeah. There has to be balance, because if I'm achieving these things, why can't I celebrate myself? Why can't I celebrate what I'm doing? Why? And if I'm celebrating with you, you celebrate with me when I get it. I'm going to absolutely, if you're my friend, I'm going to celebrate with you when you get it. And so that's one of the things that I talk about. Oh, it's going to be in my next book too. Toxic humility.
Shameless plug.
That is right. Toxic humility, because it's extremely important that we don't get caught up in this notion that we can't say what we've achieved and what we've done, because as long as it's not bragging, right? If you guys say, oh my God, I got $100 million in the bank, I'm buying Gucci, I'm flying here, I'm doing this, I don't really think that's an accomplishment.
But that's the thing. We see Zay do that all the time, and they don't get
you
the
do
same
not.
reaction.
You don't
Right.
see Zay do
We
that
see
at all.
Zay, he's in people Zay now. Last week was Dubai Zay.
Oh, okay. No. That's different.
That's definitely different.
Low-key
That's
black
different.
dude.
No,
That's different.
Why does Forrest get that reaction?
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, okay, because
break it down, please.
I am extremely excited. I was gonna type, okay, traveling Zay. Okay, he went to Dubai. I was like, okay, Antigua. I think that's absolutely amazing, right? And I think we should see more people doing that, because as a culture, as a people, we need to be exposed more. I just posted something the other day that vacation should be mandatory, because there's so many people that grow up with this sense of, oh, I went to Miami, that's it. But you're from Florida, like that's not a trip, like that's nothing. And so being able to
travel shaming?
No way.
Oh no, not me. Oh,
are you internalizing?
Chris is jealous. I'm gonna take you on a trip with me, Chris. Okay.
There you go. You got a passport.
Hello. No, you're not.
Oh Lord, this nigga.
Oh Lord, not like that. Oh my goodness.
He back.
But I think that it's extremely important, and you got to understand, two people can do the exact same thing. But if one is look like the hero and one is look like the villain, who you think gonna get the hate? If we ain't rocking with you today, You can be doing the exact same thing as the other person. We're gonna be like, oh, no, why he doing all this? But I think it's important for you to celebrate your accomplishments. As Black people, we fight too hard to get to where we are. So why should I have to close my mouth about the hard work and the dedication that I put into something just to make you feel better?
Thank you. R. Kelly said something that changed my life, girlfriend therapist. And, I know R. Kelly's scandal filled and probably facing a million years, but he said something so simple that changed my life. He said, what I eat
don't
make you shit.
Man, I love it.
He also said age ain't nothing but a number. He lied about that too.
You moron. He just ruined the whole moment.
He just knew it was some BS when he started with that baby voice. He was like, uh-oh.
See, they be hating on me.
No, they be hating on me. Listen, let me tell you something, Cortina. A trip is not an accomplishment. You feel me? That is a treat.
No.
For hard work put in.
Man, for some people, it can be though, right?
Yeah.
For some people, it can be.
But see, remember what we said about that dirty lens?
Yeah.
That's the lens that they look, because Zay ain't look at it like that.
That's true.
Zay is like, boy, this is a normal. What do you should get some stamps. They feel good.
Yes.
Hey,
that Chris, that I guarantee the people that give him them comments is people that I will say have never had a conversation with me. So that's even a step up to say, you watch me through the lens of a TV show for 1 hour every week, and then you have such an impression of me, right?
And if I was a therapist, if I was their therapist,
there you go.
Because everything that we say about other people, we have to see what is it reflecting on the inside of us. So if I'm saying, oh, he shouldn't even have this type of idea or persona about himself, I would question, why does it bother you so much? They would say, oh, I just don't like it. It makes me feel funny or whatever. And so I would even go a little bit deeper to core issues and maybe some attachment, because I would say, okay, who does that remind you of? Is it someone in your past from growing up that he reminds you of? Some people say, yeah, that's how my mama was. She was always showboating and boasting and blah, blah, blah. Or that reminds me of my dad or my uncle or whomever. And so it's just like projection. So it's almost like when you see somebody and for some reason, you don't even know why you don't like them. It's just something about them I don't like. I'm not talking about energy right now. I'm talking about, but it's like transference. Something about this person reminds me or triggers me an emotion inside of me, and I may not even know where that comes from. So I think when we are judging people and when we are saying, I don't like when they do this, you have to ask yourself, what is it about what they're doing that bothers you? Why does it affect you?
Can I say something? I had to apologize to Zay because I had been putting my foot in Zay's butt a lot, right?
No, you pause.
Brother, listen, hush. And
no.
I did it because I had to trap myself because what I'm trying to do with me, I was mad at him for doing what I didn't want, for him not doing what I wanted him to be doing. You know what I mean? And I came back and checked myself like, hey, brother he's doing what's best for him at this point. I can say, hey, I wanted you, like, bro, let's do this. I want you to open up this because of what I wanted to do. And had to come back and say, you know what? I don't care if he go to 100 countries. That's his life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you do.
I had to recognize that in myself.
But you do care.
What he missed the whole point. Maybe I didn't say it.
It's not about caring in the sense, because when it's our friends, of course we're gonna care. But my care and concern does not outweigh my support for ultimately what they're going to do. Right. For example, I can have a friend who is, let's say, dating a married man, right? I'm not gonna stop being friends with them. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Although she do love that man.
But I can't there.
What Chris, as soon as you see him show up in Revere Beach?
Auntie checked that already. She said, she love him. You know what I'm saying? I fool with Auntie.
Listen to me. If it's one person that's unfiltered, it's my auntie.
That's right.
I'm gonna send her the clip.
So one of the things that you do is, let's take Auntie for example. I'm not going to stop loving you as my friend because I don't agree with what you do. I'm going to support you in my own way that makes sense for my value system.
There you go.
So I may not go to dinner with y'all sitting there. Why? Because I don't agree with it. Now I go to dinner with you. We gonna rock. We gonna do girlfriend stuff. We gonna do all of that. But my boundaries, and this is when it comes to friendships and relationships where we implement the boundary. The boundary will be, he cannot come to my home because I do not agree with what he is doing, for my own value system. No shade, no shame towards what y'all got to do because that's your own life. But when it comes to my boundary, I'm not going to enable that type of behavior. If you feel that you're happy with that person, then and I'm giving you an example. If you be happy with that person, I love you, I care for you. At the end of the day, it's your life. But for me, as your friend, this is the way I can support you as you live your life the way that you want. So like I said, as a friend, I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to accept it. But I accept and love my friend.
Right.
And a lot of times people can't separate the two because we get mad because our friends are not taking our advice or doing what we want them to do. Even though in our mind, we feel like it's the best thing for them to do. We have to understand that people make the decisions that works best for them in that moment, depending on where they are mentally.
So I was okay in apologizing for my bad activity. Thank you, Zay.
You're welcome.
Cortina, I don't know how much time you got, but we finna unpack some shit. I get into it a lot with Horace. A lot. Okay. Backstage. I get into it a lot.
With me?
Yes, a lot. I'm every week I'm angry at Horace about something.
And it's true.
And then I call Zay and I snap up. Zay, what the fuck going on with this man? This man do that. Call Hardy. Blah, blah, blah. And me and him finally had a conversation, and I thought it was groundbreaking. And I had to be transparent with him. Like, look, bro, I'm not used to having an older brother. I'm an older brother, so I'm not used to that. So I'm not used to, for one, not being in control of different things. Two, another thing is I'm not used to being able to put expectations on people. So when I'm in a younger brother mode, I know how my younger brother treats me, and he has a lot of expectations on me, and he wants it to get, and he just believes, he has this crazy belief in me. So I find myself doing that to him. So we was arguing one time about videos. He telling me how much time it takes to compress videos to put it up. I don't give a shit. Get this done, bro. Let's get this show done. Oh. And it's like in my mind, I be thinking like, look, I haven't got that opportunity to say, yeah, this on him. Get this shit done. An hour, yeah, right before the show. Who cares? Get it done. I want to hit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to
15
talk.
Minutes, Chris.
Yeah, I'm just here to talk. So, and we go through that, and I found like that's the root of it because I have these exorbitant expectations of him, and it's like if he don't live up to it, I get pissed. Like I'm mad, and we go through it a lot. Back and forth, but I love him. But we go through it a lot with that. I'm trying to see how am I wrong and how can I master that.
I love the fact that you actually even said that though, because it's funny to watch y'all actually do it, and it's funny to hear both sides. Because I hear you, and then I hear Horace. But I got you, Cortina. You're not wrong for how you feel. However, the healthy conversation still has to be had so you understand each other. Mm-hmm. But you're gaining that understanding. Yeah, but then y'all still clash. And it's funny. Then Mario put it on pause. I mean, on mute.
What compounds the relationship is that you guys are also business partners. So it's not like my friend work here and I work here and we come together in the friendship. This is now, again, multi-layered. It's not just a friendship. It's also a business partnership. So we got the friends, and then sometimes those lines can be blurred because this is a reality-based show. We're bringing in real live issues. So outside friend issues may spill over into the production of the show, which may further complicate the conversations, that has to be had. And so we're having a project conversation, but now we're bringing personal into it, where this could have been, damn, like that's a friendship conversation. So I think finding that great balance is going to be, important. But again, this is a reality-based show and we're talking about real issues and you guys are real friends.
Let's talk about real issues. He always be want to do that girl shit all the time, man. All the time, his relationship, man. I get on this shit to be talking about relationships all the time. I want to talk about sports. I want to talk about all these other things, man. And then he be like, dog, what the hell, bro? I don't care. And then they don't even be showing you love. They hate you, but just like you want to make a show for them. Fuck them.
They love you, Chris. I mean, they love him, Chris. And they don't want to hear sports. Cortina, y'all don't want to hear sports, do y'all?
I can't speak for everybody, but me personally, I would not tune in.
There you go.
So,
you heard that?
But I do
make shows for you, Cortina. I make shows for people that got sticks and berries.
But I do think if you guys wanted to come up with a concept, like we spend 15 minutes on sports, 15, and not even sports, but maybe let's globalize, because I know you guys do this sometime. You guys like ask the audience, what are some of the topics you guys want to talk about and everything. Like one of the biggest, and sometimes maybe you guys can do I think you guys used to do this in the beginning, like trending topics, like things that's in the news. Because like the biggest thing is the baby and his whole ridiculousness that he got going on. Some people want to have that conversation about, what that means.
That's Wednesday. We're going to come back. We're doing current events and topics Wednesday. Come on.
Is that every Wednesday?
No, it's just, I just thought about just now. We ain't even talked about, we ain't even had this conversation with.
So
this is what I do. This is what I do to them.
And I think what you have to do.
Live on the show. I say something live on the show, and then it forces them to do the shit, and then you get pissed at me about it. But Wednesday, girlfriend therapist, we doing new topics.
And that's gonna be the new argument. Don't worry about it.
What was you saying, Cortina?
I was gonna say, it's because it's 4 of you guys, and I think what happens is, I don't know, the ins and out of how you guys do this thing, but maybe quarterly, you may want to revamp and say, okay, what worked, what didn't work, let's try this. Also poll your audience, poll your audience.
I try.
We got
not the private phone calls that you get, not that.
No, I'm talking about with Instagram. What are you
talking about? Okay. I thought you were talking about the ones that call you.
But then we do have analytics. And I do show my guys where our viewers are, where they're at, when they're watching, and we come back to that. The thing with Chris, I'm saying we're building a network. That's my vision for it. We can build Chris Center. You know what I mean? Chris could go off and talk sports, him, Mr. Palm Beach. But I'm saying on this, we've built a core audience off of the things that he doesn't want to talk to. And he doesn't like it because he's been forced to stretch. It's stretching him.
Uncomfortability. Yes.
Uncomfortable. He don't like being vulnerable because he don't like not to be in control, and he's facing his traumas. So as a host, I don't care if they hate me, because two of my biggest things, me, is being able to manage these personalities. 2, finding a way for us to project those uncomfortable conversations that's helping us grow, but also giving the audience a view into 4 real men. Thank you.
That's good. And you know what? One of the things is, you probably can see it a little bit on some of the things that I post, but since March, I've been going through something. And I think it's very important to always reflect on where you are in life, because life is not promised. Life is very fragile. Mm-hmm. It's very precious. And you could go to the doctor today or tomorrow and find out something that can be very life-changing. So I think when you're thinking about, okay, how do we move forward? How do we make this work? This friendship, communicating. I like to live my life like this. And no one has to do it, but I think it's good. If I were to die today, did I say everything that I wanted to say to those who will be left behind on this earth? Do my friends know I love them? Do my children know? Do my parents know? Not just in action, because I buy them stuff, but have I said it? Will they be able to recall a conversation we had and have a memory of me that is good? And this is something I had to really teach myself, because I could stay mad and cut you off, right? But if I were to die, would that bother me? Well, if I'm dead, it's not going to bother me. But would I in my reality mind, will I leave anybody hanging? And so when we have these arguments, everybody's going to argue. Everybody's not going to agree. So we're going to have disagreements. But how long do they last? And this is not for you Black Super Friends, guys. This is globally for anybody who's watching or listening. Asking yourself, am I holding on to anything that I probably need to let go of? Am I holding on to any resentments? Have I apologized and made amends with the people that I need to apologize and make amends to? And if I haven't, what is keeping me from doing that? A lot of times it's our pride, it's our ego. We don't want to look weak. We want to just be like, well, I'm just going to hold it, because that takes me to a comment that was said that I posted earlier about sometimes, yeah, a door might be closed, but it might be closed because the other person may not even know that your door is open.
Yep.
So if we have two closed doors, if I open my door and I go and knock on yours, the other door may open. So now we can cultivate this conversation that we wouldn't have never had if we were both saying just like this, well, I'm not going to do it. Well, I'm not going to do it either. That's petty, because life, like I said, life is so fragile. I've had 2 surgeries in the last 2 days after my birthday. So, you know, and I'm just going to share this with you guys. I may have to have a bone marrow transplant, right? And that's really serious. And so again, like I said, this would be my 3rd time going through it again. And so where I am in my life now, my perspective on so many different things, although I'm a therapist, you know, it's been different, but it's even deeply different now when you see like, damn, I got a 15-year-old daughter. You know, like, this is serious. I have to have those tough conversations. And you want to make sure you leave no conversation unhad that you want to make sure you have. So, you know, Zay, when you mad at Chris, tell him, but get over it. Not, and I want to say get over it, like minimize it. Hash it out, argue, yell, cuss, whatever you got to do, but persevere through it. If it's with your mom, who you absolutely hate, who you didn't have a relationship with, if you got to go to therapy to get some of that hate out your heart, then that's what you do. You know, if you have an ex and you guys have an estranged relationship and you just like, you know what we had is what we had. No bad blood. I just want to make sure I don't go to my grave holding on to something that may put me in my grave early than what I need to be. Because sometimes we have things that we hold on to and we don't even realize how much of a hold they have on us emotionally. We just know I get ticked off. I get triggered. I'm just like, F the world. It don't even matter. I don't care. But there's still triggers there. And if there's triggers there, it's unresolved.
You preaching to somebody. Yeah, you preaching to somebody.
And Chris tonight. But I will say thank you for because I did learn about the situation. You know, I love you very much. And I think because I thought I might have died last year, I think that does have me. I'm dealing with it now because I'm living my life like I ain't got another day. Even though I'm straight now, I think how it changed, like you say, changed the way that I'm moving. You know, I'm feeling like I'm rushing. Plus with COVID, I just feel like
that's real.
I'm moving like I got a clock in my heart. You know what I mean? So with these guys here, we had a conversation one day, like, brother, like if y'all don't see me tomorrow, y'all know how I feel. And I feel like I had an impact on my friends. Like this, what we're doing now, what we started, bro, I love these guys for that because they didn't have to do this. And if I leave tomorrow, I know for sure Chris Leo gonna pick it up and Zay gonna pick it up.
But Chris gonna play sports.
I was just gonna say it's gonna be the Black Super Sports Friends.
No, I talk about a lot of stuff. I just don't want to.
Sports.
I just feel like, man, we dedicate a lot of time to trying to educate women that don't want to listen to us, that just come on here to be combative.
Hold on. Watch this.
Listen.
Chris, you know what you said just a second ago to Cortina when you said, you know, this is globally what we're talking about. That's what Horace was trying to say when he was breaking down us talking. Like a lot of times, because I missed the first part, I was getting off the plane. And I had no hard. Listen, a lot of times we do get people that cross paths with us and be like, dog, y'all have some real ass conversations. Like, boy, anybody that know that's never came by 30th Street, know that under that light pole in front of my house is very, very real. You know what I'm saying? That we will get in your ass or on your ass, because we might crack some jokes on you too. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get those, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people couldn't withstand that. But what we're trying to show you is that you can have the conversation you need to have. That's why we, Horace feel like we're being hard on them, but we're just trying to tell them, like, bro, it's all right to have that conversation. You're not being weak. You're not being less than. What you're doing is clearing yourself. You're clearing that path. Because then if you feel like you're good now, imagine you get that little carbon out your carburetor and now you flowing. You feel me? You good. And you don't have no regrets. You don't have nothing holding you back. Cut anchor. You feel me? And then I always say this. Pigeons don't soar with eagles. We eagles. So we're up here. A lot of things that happen really are down here. It's not really of importance. All we want to do is make sure that we can, like I said, CEO of ourselves. We can only fix us. So if you dropped the ball somewhere, hey, listen, look, I dropped the ball sincerely. You feel me? I'm not weak. I'm apologizing to you about that. Not that you won or anything like that. I want you to understand that you were heard. You feel me? And I may not have played that correctly. However, what they do after that is on them. But like you said, Horace, life goes on. That's one thing I learned too. So you know what we keep doing? Keep on trucking. And that's all right too. Because just like you said, it's okay to disagree. If I love you and that's what I was, speaking to you about, then I'm gonna try to change my behavior on the things that may have upset you or something like that. Now, am I perfect? No, because I'm human. However, I'm going to give that valiant effort. That's love. That's the change, not just the four letter word that you were talking about, Cortina, where do they really understand that I love them? You feel me? Because if I leave today or tomorrow, like you said, even though I won't feel it, I don't want to leave knowing that, damn, I didn't do everything that I know I could have done within the confines of me. That's what I was saying to you, Horace. But we do use this show to try to show others that, hey, man, we know we're not. I mean, we are special. Don't get us wrong. We are upper echelon guys. However, we're no different from you, meaning if you cut our wrist, we're going to bleed red blood the same way. So have those tough and uncomfortable conversations. See, you'll be surprised where you will actually get. Because as much as we love each other, we cuss each other out and fight with each other all the time, but we still love each other. And we come right back and we do this show and we do it for y'all, whether y'all believe it or not. And it helps us as well in the meantime.
100. Sorry
for being long-winded.
No, you also have to understand that vulnerability is the opposite of weakness.
Chris,
if I have the power to be vulnerable,
that's strength. Yeah,
that's strength. Why? Because I don't care. I'm going to take the risk of opening myself up versus being fearful and saying, nope, you won't get that from me.
No, we men.
Chris, you're so
we men. We're going to put it out there.
Chris, I love how strong you've become, sir.
Very strong. You know that crying thing that you've been doing, man? You've been taught that was weak all your life.
I don't know about that, boy.
However, that's strength. That's strength. I know it was an onion over there that day, but I saw the tear, and I wanted to know that was man strength.
I've been
for me, your brother.
His soul to the laundromat on a few shows, and I applaud you for that, Chris Leo. Golf clap.
Okay, how we gonna close out the show again?
We thank y'all for enduring.
See
we thank you for
it was when he was at the helm, and now that we looking over at Chris, like, okay, this is your turn. Now he want to close the show out. Chris, don't run from that. That you're becoming something great, and it's a blueprint for a lot of people.
You're a peacock. Go ahead and fly.
Yeah, man. So, man, you see, Russell Westbrook got traded to the Lakers.
See, he's deflecting.
Yeah, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
It's called avoidance.
Can we ask you one question? Since Chris wants to do the Black Super Center, the Black Super Friends Sports Center, what is one of the shows, other than the show you were on, that you found was memorable for you or impactful from the Black Super Friends? Can you recall a show that you said, or something that we spoke on that you had a good takeaway from?
Oh, man.
Because there's been some shows.
You guys have had a lot of them. I don't know what topic you haven't touched on.
Pedophilia.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Okay, I mean,
we don't touch on kids.
I think the shows that I enjoy are the shows with Ivory Shields.
Yeah.
That's that woman shit, man. I knew it.
I'm just saying, because you know what? I think it's important to have a man show. But I also think every now and again it's good to have balance, right? Because I can't tell a man how to be a man. And there are some things that women go through, you know, and it's good to hear the opposite perspective. And you still, sometimes you guys say the same thing, sometimes you disagree, but I think the conversation, the dialogue for those who are listening is like, oh yeah, I can see that point. Oh, but I can see that point too. Yeah, that makes really good sense. And then they're able to formulate their own opinion. I'm taking a little bit from this, I'm taking a little bit from that, then I make my own. So I think I have really enjoyed when she has been on the show, especially talking about, you know, anything with mental health, wellness, emotional wellness. That is my so I am there listening in tune. So I really enjoyed those shows.
Okay, yeah, she covers it all.
Now it's crazy because they love it when you're on too, though, Cortina. You come through with that word and they preach it, sister. And you know, and we appreciate it too, you know, because it helps us. It gives us that feminine. What we said, what that was earlier.
The what?
The feminine side to the toxic masculinity. No, man, you need that balance of scale to be right. It can't be heavy on either side. It just needs to be just right.
So sometimes that's a whole nother show. When I think I have a love-hate relationship when it comes to the term toxic masculinity, because I think in layman's terms, when people think about toxic masculinity, those things are like abuse, you know, like male chauvinist and womanizing, and you know, but that's a whole nother topic.
I'm right here.
Yeah, for in front and center.
You have to talk about me right in my face.
and Chris, if they was to apply that term to the show, they wouldn't even put that to you. That's how that's how scripted. That's how bad the show has become. Chris has become a loved person on the show. Like people want to love Chris and his brokenness.
He need to become the date doctor again.
You know what it is? Because a lot of times, and this is what happens when a lot of women get with emotionally unavailable men, because they are nurturers. And so sometimes we want to try to fix, like Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Like that is a whole Disney show about abuse.
Yes.
Right? But we romanticized it into, oh my God, if I'm nice enough to him, he will come to me and he will be nice and he will be just the person that I want him to be. So subconsciously, sometimes women like the bad boy or the rebel, because it's almost like, oh, maybe I can help fix him or tame. And I'm not saying, Chris, you need to be fixed, but you're very out there, you know, sometimes comments you would make is like, okay, well, if I just talk to him and maybe he needs a hug, maybe he needs a kiss or whatever, and I could be that person to be able to do that. Not
That's his cousin.
Future,
he the other fraud.
Listen, there's Future, and right under Future, there's Chris Leo. Right? And women want Future to be what's the other boy, the Russell boy?
Yeah, definitely.
Russell
Crowe.
Yeah, Russell not Russell Crowe.
Women want Future to be Russell. They will find
a nigga
and try to make him Russell Wilson, and I see it every day.
But see, that's the delusion that we play in our mind, because that's why I tell people, don't date because you see potential. Date with what you see right now, because if that person never changes, will you be able to be with them? So sometimes we get these ideals in our mind that, oh, they can be this, they can change. Okay, once you get later in life, like not in your 20s, because you know people grow together in their 20s, but when you're 40s and tap dancing, it's like, do I want to invest the energy on what you could possibly be versus what you're showing me right now? I don't want to think that, oh my God, maybe he can be romantic in the future. No, can he be romantic right now? Because what if that's not him? Do I want to wait? Now I'm in love and I got to invest all of this and I'm afraid. Yes. I
bet not ever see your ass buy a lotto ticket then. Don't ever buy a lotto. If you ain't going to take a chance on me, don't you? I'm fine. If that's how you feel, cool. You don't date potential. But I bet I never see you buy a lot.
It's not about potential, but I'm talking about when people say I can change him, because in your mind, he has the potential to be changed. People do grow, but I'm saying if I'm like, oh yes, girl, he gonna be this, he gonna be that. You don't know that.
You know how many people, before we close out, You know how many girls then put up their juice box on Chris Leo?
Hey,
I ain't read none of them benefits. I ain't read none of them benefits. The wrong ones are coming to my inbox. Man. I ain't read none of them benefits.
Still an asshole.
I had goddamn Cardi called me trying to get me back with my baby mama. A 2-hour conversation, man. So no, I ain't heard none of them text messages.
I kind of gonna have that
Damn.
conversation with you this week too.
Oh man,
Perfect
that's
story. But we got to close out, man, because I want to make sure I can get the girlfriend therapist. I can get her into IGTV. So we run over. It's gonna be hard to splice that. So I'm gonna go to closing comments. I'm gonna leave you the last comment, girlfriend therapist, where you can talk about your book. So I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to the gentle giant, Chris Leo first.
that's the only intro I didn't like. But I want to say thank you for coming on the show. Your perspective was amazing. I really appreciate it. I didn't know you was going through what you was going through, and I hope everything goes well. But if it's a cash app, I donate. But I really want to give a
bone marrow testing.
Okay, well, cool. I ain't got none of that, but I do want to say on a serious note, I want to give a big shout out to one of our day one supporters, Amber Dawkins Watkins. She just had suffered her child's father passed. I think they was married also. We want to give a big send our condolences and send our cares and send our attention to you. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say, but we, anytime you want to talk, we're here to talk to you. You've been a supporter from day one, and we wish everything you and those little girls, anything we can do, we're just a phone call away. Thank you.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Antique Zay.
yes. Hey, sorry for being long-winded tonight. I came in hot off the press, and I appreciate y'all for actually tuning in and listening to our real ass conversations. Like I said, we have them for ourselves, but we definitely have them for you guys, because I'm quite sure the same things that we go through in life, you guys do the same. So again, we appreciate, as Cortina had alluded to earlier, comment. We definitely do need the ratings. We do need, the boosting, because if you think that our show is real enough for you to see us in public and to let us know, then the world may need to hear what we have to say, and we can't get there without you. So I'm gonna ask that you guys do that for us. Cortina?
No, I'll go first. I'm gonna give Cortina the last.
Oh, my bad,
I
G.
say this. Thanks to being ambushed on this show by Chris Leo, I probably have to have a conversation that I did not want to have. So very strategic in that sense. Uh, Most people see us for an hour and a half on this show, and they come up with a assumption of the person that I am. The people on the screen know that I'm an avid person in the community that, won't mention the things I do, but I really spend a lot of time that I don't get paid for trying to solve everyday problems for people in my community. And that's where my heart is. So if you think me sharing my accomplishments after going through hell as a kid is problematic, then oh well. But then I want to take a moment to look at the camera and to the people that DM Chris Leo had to say about me, who's probably never had a conversation with me at all. I want to give you a quote from the great poet JT Money. I hate hoes, hoes hate me.
Classic.
Poetic.
Hey, but you know what? Hold on, Cortina. Before you go, I want to give you your flowers while you still hit hard. I was all the way in Antigua, and a good friend, well, he's become a good friend now. He was talking to me, and he says, "Hey, I actually know your brother. I work on the Marina Committee, and he's helped me with so many things." So to back up what you're saying, I just heard this conversation, and I said this to someone. I said, it's so funny that people have a depiction of Horace one way, but then I know what you do for others unsaid. Those are the things that you don't brag about. Hell, me bragging about my treasures, I understand why you feel the way you feel. So, I'm giving your flowers right here. Shout out, because I never expected that. Hell, I didn't even know that he knew we were brothers. And he was like, man, yeah, I know your brother. And he started talking to me over dinner. And I actually felt good as a little brother to hear, what he said. And I knew that once he said the meeting place, he wasn't just shucking and jiving. He actually knew what he was saying. He wasn't trying to, get in good with me on any type of level. He was just expressing to me your accomplishments and the things that he's seen you do personally. So that was what's up.
I appreciate that, bro.
All the way in Antigua. Ain't that something? I can't get away from y'all.
Yeah, girlfriend therapist.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me on. It's so funny. I was able to take a nap, so I'm wide awake, and I'm like, oh, I can catch the show. So I appreciate you guys having me on. And yes, like I said earlier, my book was supposed to come out in August, but life had other plans, so it's been pushed back to January, and it's called Girlfriend Heal. It's the second book, and then there's a third book that's also coming out, which is the workbook edition that causes you to actually do the work. So those are the things, and yeah, I'm just kind of laying low right now. I know you guys haven't seen me like doing all the shows like I was doing before. I'm just really focusing on me right now.
With the purple hair.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all right. Long as you share and hit love on the screen, we all right.
Yes.
We know that you're here.
Frankenberry hair color. It don't matter, girl. You gonna rock it anyway. All right. So,
He in that baby voice again.
yeah.
Berry beige.
It's been a night, so I challenge everyone to share, comment, and or even send it through your messages to a few people, because we were able to have the girlfriend therapist who came on and
Unexpectedly.
saved me from such a conversation. But it was amazing. Like people see, like, we really have real conversations on this show, and I wish people could really treasure that more. So peace out from the Black Super Friends. We'll see you next week, Monday Night Raw.
Shout out to Super Mario.
For sure.